Okay, so hello everybody. Also from my end, my name is Ilmari Kantulainen, and I'm the CEO of Deveo. And this is our first hangout where we are going to introduce you to everything related to Deveo. So what is Deveo as a product, and also some of the differentiators, how Deveo differs from other similar products. And I'm going to give a live demonstration, walk you through the basics of Deveo, how everything works basically. I'm going to use our cloud-hosted infrastructure there, and going to do really basic stuff there. And so there is some time for questions at the end of the presentations. So please put them to the chat even during the presentation, and I can then go them through after the presentation. I'm going to share my screen, and let's see if it works. Okay, it seems to work. And now you should be able to see the Deveo login screen. And so I'm running now this demo from our cloud infrastructure. And here comes the first differentiator between Deveo and similar other products. So whereas in some other products, you log in to the product as a whole. So in Deveo, you are always logging in to a certain company, meaning that Deveo is like a fully multi-tenant system. So basically, when I'm now logging in to a company called G-Example with my account, I'm using email address as an account, and my password. I can log into to this one company. Let's see if I mistype something. Now it seems to work, and so I can see that I have logged in to this company in the multi-tenant infrastructure, and I can see all of the users that are associated in this company. So whereas some of the other products, there is basically the separation of user accounts, and then there can be groups that then combine a number of users. So in Deveo, we have companies that are then like isolated data sets, and there are users there. And if I have account in two different companies in a given Deveo instance, I basically have two different accounts. So the accounts are fully isolated from each other. Okay. So if we go back to where we were, or if we actually take one step backward and consider the logging in possibilities. So I just used my email and password to log in to the system. I could also use a single sign-on system that would be configured per the company, meaning that if I would like to use my company's SAML2 based single sign-on service, but still use the cloud version of Deveo, I could configure that in the company settings. Of course, if you're running Deveo on your own hardware, which is also possible, so you can either use it from cloud or run it on your own hardware. You can then configure it to authenticate against your centralized user database, so Active Directory or LDAP. You can even have a hybrid model, so where you have some of the user accounts in Deveo locally, whereas other user accounts come from LDAP or AD. But yeah, so if you log in again, we'll go to the same page we were before. So in Deveo, we have divided the workspace to projects. So because typically in software development, when you're working in a company, you typically do some projects. You have a product, and that consists of some projects or a project. And basically, what I'm seeing here on the front page is all the projects I'm currently associated with. So there can be also like public projects, meaning those projects can be seen anyone who has an account to this particular company in the Deveo instance. But then there are most often the projects are private, meaning that they can be only seen by the members who are added to the project explicitly. And if we go forward, so let's create a new project where we are going to demonstrate some stuff we can do with Deveo. So creation of project is an ability that anyone who has a regular user account to Deveo can do. So basically, since I have logged in with my account to Deveo, I can create a new project and I'll become the administrator of that project. So I'll put it some descriptive name, such as now Ilmari video demo, and I can here choose whether the project is available to everyone who has access in this company or just to the members. And the default value is just to the members, because typically in software projects in like companies, you want to limit the visibility to only those people who are affiliated with the project. We could also give some description to the project. We could give some, for example, some links to other tools here or whatnot, information that seems necessary. And so with two clicks, we have our project created. And on the sidebar here, we will see what features or what functionalities does Deveo provide then in the project context. So now we have jumped into the project context and we have created the project successfully. So we'll go first to the theme view, where basically all of the credentials are managed. So in Deveo, we control the credentials to a particular project. And so I can add to this project either like individual users. So through the link, I can see here. Okay, so this company only has three users, and they are also just for demonstration purposes. But let's say our business development manager Antti with a developer role. So in Deveo, the access controls are role-based. So meaning that I can assign a person with a certain role. Now the roles are the developer, a guest, a manager, or an administrator. And based on the role I assign the person to, he will get the certain rights to the project. So with, for example, with the developer rights or with the developer role, Antti can read and write from repositories and create issues and all that sort of things. But for example, he cannot add new users or create new milestones to the project or things like that, or even create new repositories or remove existing repositories. But let's add Antti with developer rights, and so now the project will be also visible to Antti, and we can collaborate with Antti in this project's scope. Okay, we can do basically the same with groups. Okay, so we don't have any groups in this project, but so we can do the same thing with the groups, and then Deveo has two specialities. That special type of accounts that cannot be found from many software that are alike Deveo. So first of them is the collaborator accounts, and with collaborator accounts we can basically invite outside users to Deveo, but limit their access to the bare minimum. So I will actually demonstrate this because this is quite neat functionality. So before this demo, I have added myself as a collaborator, or my other email address as a collaborator to Deveo, and I will now add this Ilmari Kontulainen with the developer role. And as you can see, you can only assign a developer role or a guest role to a collaborator, meaning that the collaborator never has the access to all of the users in this particular company, but he or she only has access to the project he's added to, and basically listing the users that are in the same project and listing all the stuff that is in the same project, but nowhere outside of that project scope. So let's add myself as a guest, and we can then log out, and we can then log in again using the collaborator account that is now associated with my personal email. So now, as you can see, I can see that the same project we created earlier, but for example, I cannot access. There is a company scope where I could list the users and all of the public projects and whatnot. But here I cannot click it. I'm really trying hard. So what I can do, however, is that I can see the project I was associated with, and so on. Okay, but let's go back to our project administrator account, because with that we can do more stuff in the project. Right. And yes, so okay, so we have now added one user, Antti, and one collaborator account, which is which we will use ourselves, and then there are the bot accounts. So in multiple systems similar to Deveo, there are things called access keys and all that are then used when we want to, for example, fetch source code from a continuous integration server, or do something with the APIs. Able to access the company's overview, the list of projects, the use. Bot account, and I'll explain and walk you through the concept at the same go. So I'll create a new bot and add it a name, and so basically a bot account is like a service account, and we can basically have in the bot account its owner, which is me because I created it, and we can also have add users to the bot account, and this means now, since Antti is a member of this bot account, that Antti can actually see the bot account, and he can add it to projects, but he cannot actually modify its credentials. But I, as the owner, I can, for example, modify the bot account's SSH keys and API keys and well, details basically, and so I can do everything with the bot. But Antti can also add the bot to projects where he would like to use the same credentials that are associated with the bot account. So, for example, if we were to use a shared continuous integration system as an example, we could configure the credentials of the bot account to that system, and both of us, me and Antti, could add it to projects we are using, and so we could share the same credentials there. And the purpose of the bot accounts is to basically allow you to or like let you not use your own credentials in services such as continuous integration or in deployment scripts or whatnot, wherever you would need to access, for example, the source code or something like that. So and the reason why you shouldn't use your personal credentials there, well, they should be probably quite obvious. You will reveal your username and password to everybody who's reading some script, or to the people who has the access to a continuous integration system, and so on. So basically, you can use the bot accounts to configure the CI servers, the deployment scripts, whatnot, and not needing to like put your own credentials there, or even in some cases create like a fake user account here in Deveo. Anyway, but so we have now added the bot account, and so we can add it to the project team, and to bot accounts we can add the bot with either guest or developer or administrator role. So the bot can have actually more rights there. Okay, so I guess the bot only needs the guest role because we want it to be able to read the repositories, but not, for example, write to repositories, but because, well, we don't have a strict need to it. If we would like to have some write access also to the bot account, we could also configure that. Yeah, so that's about the access management, at least for short. Well, to also note, if we are using or if we are running Deveo on premises, so on our own hardware, we can get both the users and the collaborators from an LDAP based on different filters. So if you, for example, distinguish on your own LDAP server or Active Directory who are kind of like the external people and who are the internal people, so you can do this division and add these collaborators automatically from the LDAP here and limit their access rights to bare minimum. So basically nothing at the beginning, but when they are added to projects, they will see all of the project concept. So yeah, but if we move forward, so in the list, we can check the repositories. So in Deveo, and this is like a differentiator from other products. So we actually can host multiple repositories inside one project, because let's face it, if you're building a software of any kind, we probably have there like a front end, back end, some other scripts and tools, whatnot, and we don't really want to like host all of them in the same repository because of obvious reasons. We want to divide the code history and the changes and all that, and so and avoid complexity in general. So Deveo supports that pretty well. So we can create new repository from the repositories view, and Deveo supports 3 different version control systems. So we support JIT, which is nowadays quite common and famous. So we can add new JIT repository to the project, and we can get the clone URL here. We can access the repositories through HTTP or SSH, and basically just say in the command line that let's clone the repository, and the Git client authenticates against Deveo and checks my access rights, and okay, so now I have cloned the repository. It's not naturally empty. So if we add a README file there, for example, let's actually add something better. And save the file, make a commit in Git, and push the changes. So now the changes are in Deveo. So this is probably very basic if you have already used some similar product. But okay, if we go back one step, now we can see the repository here. We also see the wiki repository. I'll go to that a bit later. But let's do the same with Mercurial. So we create a Mercurial repository, name it like, for example, HG1, and that's created, and we can also create their subversion repository. So even though, okay, this is probably not the most realistic use case, but we could even have like three type of like different repositories under one project. Okay. Before going any further, I could also demonstrate one different type of repository we have in Deveo that's not actually found in many systems that are, and that's like a WebDAV repository. And WebDAV is a technology which is based on HTTP protocol, and it's basically it's not a version control system, but it's basically like I would call it a network share that you can basically set up, and it uses the HTTP protocol. So I will demonstrate to use it. So I'll create a repository here in Deveo to our project, and I can only access it through the HTTP protocol. But what I can basically do is I can take my OSX finder and say here that, okay, connect to server, and I'll paste the link here that I got from the clone URL and say connect. And yes, we allow the certificate and allow always. And all right, so basically I have now mounted the WebDAV repository on my own laptop, and I could do so that I'll take our desktop and transfer an image to the WebDAV repository, and now it's there. And if we reload this view, it's there as well. So you could say that the WebDAV is kind of like a Dropbox. It's supported by basically OS X, Linux, and Windows respectively. So you can share all of these kind of files that you don't want to put into version control like throughout the project team. So and if there are, for example, like UX designers, they want to push some big binary files such as like graphics files or something like that. You can use the WebDAV as a storage for those kind of files without needing to interfere with a version control system client, because that can be, depending on the client you're using, that can be still like one step too much for, let's say, graphics artist or whatnot. But anyway, so this is about the WebDAV repositories, and then we can move a bit forward. So we have gone through now a bit of like the version control systems and repositories and all that, and of course you'll find all of the basic necessities such as the code browser, the branch history, and all that from here. I can actually jump between a different project to show some of the like histories. For example, this is another project I made earlier, and I have here, for example, the source code of Ember.js that I have cloned. So I think this has more like real data and even some other stuff. So I can see, for example, the diffs. So the changes, and I can see them either inline or like side by side. So depending on your flavor or your type of what is your preference, you can see them either way. And here we can see the blinking cursor or icon next to the lines. So this is code commenting, and basically so we can comment the changes line by line. So I could add here that, okay, there's a bug in the documentation, and I could leave it here. And then the person who made the made the commit, made the push would get notified of this. I could also make explicit notifications via in-app notifications using this commonly known syntax. So I don't remember who I added to this project. Actually, I think this project's team is bit small. So let's add new people to it, and so we can try again. So I can notify only the people who are in a project, because we are working in a project. So I'm only allowed to notify them. So now there should be, for example, JP, and I could say to JP that, okay, please check this line before release. And what it would create is a notification to here, to the top bar, where basically JP would get a notification, okay, that John Doe now not notified you in this line, and then the link would take him directly to where the comment is put. So in this way we can do sort of like post commit or post push type of code reviews, even with this kind of code commenting. But yeah, other functionalities then, of course, besides the basic repository browser code history, is the code comparison. So in the code comparison, we can compare, for example, two commits together, or even two branches or tags together. So I could, for example, check what has changed between, let's say, two latest beta versions of Ember here, or what has changed since the latest beta version from compared to the current state of the master. And here the same things work. I see these changes like file by file, and I can switch between the side by side view and the inline view. But yeah, but these are like the basic tools that you can then use while you're using Deveo, and how you can basically browse the code without needing to go to the command line and all that, and you can do the code commenting and all that, and even ping the other teammates for if you find something interesting. So that should make the work more efficient. But okay, if we go further, so since Deveo is not just like a code hosting platform, but it's only like also a set of tools for doing issue tracking and documentation in addition. So let's jump again between the projects. So I'll take the demo project again, since we are administrator there, and we go into Milestones. So in Deveo, we track the issues in Milestones. So Milestones could be, for example, sprints, or they could be also this kind of like boards. So if you're utilizing more of a Kanban workflow or something like that, so you could call them also like boards, that you have a backlog for one, and then you have, like, for example, what you're doing currently, and then what's basically done and all that. But it's very free to actually choose what your working methods. But for this demo purpose, we will create a new milestone, and we give it a title, and it will be, for example, demo release. And we could add the description also. Let's say, okay, something very simple, and then begin the differences between Deveo and some other tools, for example. So we can then define the different states for the issues. So we can, for example, here say that, okay, the typical states for the work, that for one issue are that they're first open, okay, then they're, we are working on them, and then they're closed, okay. But what if we want to, for example, have here that we want to clarify the issues before we take them into work? and we want to have a QA phase before the issue gets closed or done or whatnot. So we can define our process. So basically, the states one issue can be, and then we can define which of the states are actually like finished or done states. So we could also define here that this is blocked, and find it also here. So now the issue is first in open state, then we'll clarify it, we take it into work, we put some QA on it, and then we either close the issue or we put it to blocked state. All right, and then the priority is in the same way. So it's very free form how you can define them. But let's say we'll for example add here a critical, or we could even replace these by numbers or whatnot. All right. So we have our milestone ready, and so there is a progress bar that follows with which number of tickets is basically transferred into these done or finalized states. And if we go into the milestone, we'll actually open the issues view, which lists the issues in this milestone. So we can actually even filter the issues by multiple milestones, but since we now only have the one milestone, we'll just stick with that. Right. And so let's create an issue to the milestone. So we'll have it a title that we're going to hold a webinar, and then description. And we add it to the milestone, the only milestone we have, and we can say that okay, this is critical, and we can then either create it, but we can here in this view also add or create new labels for it. So we can say that this is, for example, a bug or feature or something else. All right, and this is something else, holding a webinar, obviously, and the issue is created. All right, and here you'll find as what you probably would expect from like a full-fledged issue tracking system. So you can comment the issues. You can also, of course, ping people here as well, and so on. You can modify the labels. You can assign people. So I can add Antti to this particular issue, for example. We can add attachments. So the same Deveo logo goes here nicely and all that. And we can add comments again. And then we can basically move the issue from open to work in progress to clarification to QA, and we can then finally close it. And if we now look at the milestone view again, so since the issue is in a closed state, we can actually see that it's more like 100% completed. All right. Yeah, but that's about the issue tracking. It was a very quick introduction to that topic, but basically it should give you enough or the bare necessities to doing issue tracking inside your team. Yeah. We can then move on to the wiki. So what you might expect from wiki, it's a project-based wiki where you can hold your team's project documentation. So the wiki, like everything else in Deveo, is project-based. So the same issues are shared between the one project. So even though we have here, for example, 5 repositories, they all share the same issue tracking system, and same goes to the wiki. And so in the wiki, we can basically modify the pages or edit the pages using the Markdown formatting. So I'll remove the existing stuff. There is, for example, there are some examples of the formatting that we can use in Markdown. We can build nice tables, some code blocks, images, links, and whatnot. What you might expect. So, but here we can do the basic editings per page, and we can also attach files. Like, let's use the same example again, and we can even put it as an image. And one nice thing about this, like our wiki editor, is that it automatically, even though the format is how would I say, technical, it will always automatically update basically what you're editing in this right side view. So you don't need to worry. For example, if I have remembered the syntax of how to add an image, for example, so I can see clearly that okay, it's not working, but now it is working. So we get real-time feedback, but we can still use the very simple and fast to write markdown syntax. And so we can save the page now, and we can add even some message to what we have done basically. So very typical make changes. And if we now check the page history, we can actually see that the changes here are stored to the wiki repository that we saw in the beginning of the demo. And so basically the pages, they are saved into the wiki repository, which is a JIT repository, and they are saved in plain Markdown formatting, which means that we can either take the whole repository and edit the files on our own machine, or we can, for example, see the history, what has basically changed since the last modification, and we can do all of that there. Yeah, and so the wiki allows you to put attachments, links between pages, also creating new pages naturally, and so on. And it's a nice way to keep that documentation for your product intact with your product. Okay. Then if you go to some bit more like advanced topics, so one of them is integrations between the source code and the other tools. And there I will give a short example of using Deveo's hooks. So in Deveo, you can set up repository hooks, which are basically scripts that are always executed after you push or commit new changes to a repository. So we manage them in the hooks view, and I can, for example, add here by selecting, let's select the JIT repository, for example. I can select there's about list of hooks, let's say around 80 of them. I'm not going to go through all of them, but let's take some of the, like, for example, most common or such that people use. So even though Deveo offers like an issue tracking system of its own, some people prefer to use Jira because it's even more, how do I say, powerful tool for issue tracking and even project management and so on. So we can add such hook between Deveo and Jira, which will make it possible to basically reference the Jira issues inside Deveo commits or commits made to repositories in Deveo. So you can just basically say in the issue that okay, this is the issue key. So you mentioned the issue key in the comment message, and Deveo will automatically send that information to Jira via Jira's API. But it's not just about referencing the issues. You can do all sorts of cool things. So you can do basically everything you can do with the Jira APIs. So you can transition the issue. So in Jira, we have transitions between different states. So you can, for example, move the issue from doing to review phase using a commit which says, for example, dev 1, 2, 3, and then transition QA or transition to review and so on. And then the Jira will automatically transitions the issue to that transition that we specified. You can also do such nice things as time tracking. So you can add time to the given task. So you don't actually need to go and update the Jira task with the time you have spent on the ticket, but you can just say it in the commit message, and that's all. Well, then some other basic stuff like commenting and summaries and labels and whatnot, you can of course also do that. But that's just like one example of the hooks. Another, we might say, for example, Slack. So this is even more basic hook. So basically, you can just broadcast commit messages to Slack or any other like common used team chat services. And with Deveo hooks, there is one like possibility that's not, at least I don't think it's available in many of the tools. So you can actually trigger the hook execution based on the reference pattern or based on the path pattern. So meaning that if you want to execute or trigger the hooks only for, let's say, only to master brands or only to feature branches or whatnot, or only to tags, for example. So you can define a reference pattern and define only those references that you wish to trigger the hooks with. So this allows, for example, you to broadcast only like new tags created to, for example, certain Slack channel. Or in addition, you might have some certain files you want to be notified about if they're changed, if they're added, if they're deleted, or certain directories even. So you can then use the path pattern in addition to control exactly when the hook will be triggered. And this is kind of nice feature. So you don't need to configure much extra. Just use the reference pattern and get on with it. And this functionality is available naturally to all of the hooks. So if you have, for example, more typical web hook that you can use to, in your own services that you have then created, you can use it with that. You can use it with anything basically. But yeah, and then another nice thing I might actually demonstrate real quickly. So if we have, which is also an advanced topic, but from different angle. So while I was talking about the Jira hook earlier and how we can reference a certain issue there, so we can do also that same in Deveo without any additional hooks. So some of you might have noticed while we were editing this issue that there's also the commits tab there, and we can basically reference this issue in commits by simply doing a new commit. So let's edit our README file and add it. Let's say here that okay, and basically the magic word here is that #1. So because the issue code is #1, and we commit and we push the changes, and the changes are there. And if we open the issue, we can see, for example, here that okay, I have referenced this issue in this commit. If I check the commit, I'll go back to the actual changes, and I can add a comment or whatnot. But I can also list all of the commits that are referencing this issue from this one place. And what is actually nice about this functionality is that I can do it to do the referencing in all of the repositories that are inside the project. So given even if I would have like let's say 20 repositories in the same project, I could use the same issue tracking and reference, for example, certain issue in for example 2 repositories like backend, frontend, and whatnot. So this is very nice and nice way to kind of keep your how would I say issue code linking in place. All right. Then now we are running actually, well, not running out of time, but we actually have just enough time to still go through the code reviews, which will end then this demo for now. So let's go actually back to the editor, and let's actually simulate a situation where we would be developing features in feature branches with JIT. So I will check out the new branch, and now I'm in the branch, and I will do some just demo changes for the sake of the demonstration, and I will add the file, commit it, and I will push the changes. So it will now naturally create a new branch for me. Yeah, all right. And so how the code reviews work in Deveo, they work branch based. So whenever I have my branch ready and I'm ready that okay, now changes are ready and all that. So I'll just go here to the code reviews view. I'll select my repository, and here we can actually see that even though we created the subversion repository here earlier, we actually don't see the subversion repository here because the Deveo code reviews, they only work with the Mercurial repositories and the JIT repositories. We, however, do see the wiki repository here, so we could even have for documentation this kind of conventions that all changes to the documentation must go through a code review process, but that's another topic. Okay, we can then select the branch. Now there's only one branch aside of the master branch, which is used as the default branch for this repository. But we will select the new branch we created and give it like a proper name and some description, and here are then the magic bits of the code review. So we can here say that okay, before we can merge these changes, we need an approval of or from at least 1 or even 10 developers if we want, and in addition we can require that there must be a passing build before these changes can be merged. So we can actually connect to the Deveo code review process any tool that can then post the build results. So for example, Jenkins or TeamCity or whatever CI server you might have, you can connect it to Deveo to send the build results, and you can basically have a quality gate that requires both the formal approval of another developer and the approval of the automation. So meaning continuous integration system, for example. But we don't have unfortunately time to demonstrate those now. We might do them in another demo later or another webinar later. But we'll just create the review, and we can see here that there's the discussion. So I could give like a general comment here with quotes here and so on. I can assign some reviewers here. So I could add, for example, Antti or the collaborator account we added to the project as a reviewer as well. I'll just add Antti here just for the sake of visibility, and I can see here the changes. And I can naturally comment also the lines or the changes line by line, and so on, and the comments are of course applied here as well. Okay, so now if I'm doing the work and I'm reading these, okay, so I need to add some more stuff. Well, okay, let's do that. and so we are still in the branch in our command line. More changes, and let's do the commit again, and push the changes. And so now we should be, now we see in the discussion that, okay, there has been now some more changes that the commit we made, and we can see it also in the commit listing. But what is more importantly, we can see that the changes view is also updated with the latest changes between the two branches here. All right, fair enough. I think it's sufficient. We can do the merge. We could also decline the merge, but let's do the merge and also delete the branch at the same go. So because we probably are not interested in keeping the branch anymore since it's already merged. So let's do that. All right, are we sure? Yes, we are. And it takes some time. And then yeah, the review was merged successfully. So and now we can see there are no open code reviews. We can see that the review is still here, and then we can go back to that and if we need further, like need to evaluate it or check it sometime later and so on. But yeah, that's the short introduction to the basic concepts of Deveo. There are probably myriad of things that I didn't go through, but we'll have more in-depth demonstrations or webinars of those later. And yeah, so thank you very much. And I will stop sharing my screen now. Okay, and then there are the questions. I hope people don't mind. We might go 1 minute or 2 minutes over time. All right, so the first question is, does Deveo integrate with LDAP? Deveo integrates with LDAP. So you can basically you can basically authenticate against your corporate LDAP with Deveo. About bi-directional synchronization, Deveo does not offer the ability to update the groups. However, Deveo has the ability to expose all of the information it has through an LDAP API, meaning that you can use Deveo as an LDAP server. But actually, the idea about bi-directional synchronization is pretty good, and we can further evaluate that and take it into account. It actually sounds pretty nice idea, way to manage those like LDAP servers. So yeah, but good question nevertheless. All right, then there is a second question that does the permission model, which is accounts, users, collaborators, roles, and the workflows with issue tracker, and so it's about the permission models and the roles and the different repositories. So like I mentioned and demonstrated, so in Deveo we have the concept of project. So everything in that same project happens and is authorized based on the project team. So if you have let's say one subversion repository in the project, everybody who have access to that project have also access to that subversion repository. So even though if you would have, so Deveo doesn't support like defining subversions like file-based permissions. So you cannot further extend or modify permissions for certain directories, for example, in subversion repositories. In Git, we can control the access rights even a bit further by using protected branches, but with Subversion, it's only that the team that is added with the guest or developer rights or administrator rights to the project team can access the whole Subversion repository that is there. And yeah. And then there was a question about the permission model for the pull request workflow, and will the workflow work with Subversion repositories. So at the moment, the workflow does not work with Subversion repositories. We might be adding that later. It's basically how Subversion handles branches and all that is a bit different from Git and Mercurial. But for Mercurial and Git, the code review workflow works pretty well. The permission model for code review is basically that anyone who has access to so basically, if you have write access to the repositories, you also have access to create new code reviews, and then based on your access rights, you cannot like upvote or approve your own code review. So somebody else needs to do that. And if you are using Git's protected branches, you need to be an administrator in order to merge the changes into a protected branch. So that's basically the ability to control who can merge to what branches. Yeah, there are like further plans to also extend the and utilize more the reviewers and basically define that, for example, that only the reviewers can actually approve the changes and so on, but that's not yet. Okay. Then there is the question for milestone and issue. Can the issue be assigned to a file? But the issues are always attached to a milestone, and those milestones are like per project. So in Deveo we don't have like repository specific issue tracking. You could accomplish that though by doing so that you just create one project, and in that one project you have one repository, and then you have the issue tracking for that one repository. But the same thing is like if you have multiple repositories in one project, they all share the same issue tracking. The hooks work to all repositories. So all of the hooks work in all Subversion, Git, and Mercurial repositories. They don't work on the WebDAV repositories though, because WebDAV doesn't have commits and all that. There might be some ways to actually get them working with WebDAV repositories as well, but they at least currently they don't work. But for all the version control systems, so Git, Mercurial, and Subversion, all the hooks work for those. All right, and so I mean, I thank you everybody for joining this webinar. I passed it to the Hangout link, so if you want to try the video out, there's a 45 days free trial you can subscribe to and try it out on either on your own servers or from our cloud service. And like if you have any further feedback or any comments or anything, all right. So there's some more questions coming up. So it's a question about high availability or disaster recovery solutions. And for high availability, Deveo, we can deploy Deveo on our own servers with basically three models. So there is the combo setup where you have basically everything running on one machine. But in addition, you can also have a cluster setup where you have multiple front-end machines that can then share the load that comes from example from Git cloning and everything like that. And then you have a separate database server, and in addition, shared storage that's shared between the front-end nodes. So that should give you like an high availability setup, and also partial disaster recovery solution in terms of that if one of the machines go down, let's say, and you have four front-end machines, then the three of the machines take the load over, and so on. There is also the possibility to replicate the data between like a Deveo master and Deveo slave nodes in a master slave manner that allows you to basically set the data to different sites. Right. Yeah. You can also send further questions to me directly via email, for example, and I'll be sure to get an answer if there was something I didn't cover in this, or if you want to, for example, further elaborate some of the questions presented earlier here. But yeah, without further ado, or I'll wait for another minute for follow-up questions still. All right, so I thank you, all of the participants, both in the Hangouts, both in the YouTube, for participating, and thank you for the questions and all that. And then, like I mentioned, if you want to try Deveo out, there's the trial link in the chat. Do give us feedback, do give us comments, and yeah, if you have any further or follow-up questions, do hit me with an email, and we'll get back to the things as soon as possible. But yeah, thanks everybody for joining, and have a good day.